something a bit different today. It's spring, and it's the time of year when the flowers start to shine through. They've survived the harsh winter months, and now we're reaping the beautiful rewards of spring. I've headed down the road and gone and found me some bluebells, and there was somewhere else I had in mind, but driving along I found somewhere on the way that looks better than what I was thinking, because I don't think too many people have been down this little area. There's a little path through. I'm trying to avoid ruining this beautiful carpet of these bluebells, but there's a lot of coppice wood going on, some coppice trees. I think this is a good woods, because the other woods was just a normal wood, but the coppice woods adds a little something extra. The sun's risen, but the light isn't strong enough at the moment. It's a very subtle light in here, and what we want is, once I've found a composition, what I want is some hard light rays coming through, lighting up patches of the shot, of the scene. So I'm going to wander around while being careful of the bluebells, don't want to ruin them, and find a composition and enjoy this beautiful carpet. Won't mind it in the front room. Hit a bit of a clearing, and you can see on these trees the sun's hitting the top of them, illuminating them up, and that light really adds something to it, doesn't it? Just takes what is a bit of wood, a bit of a tree, there's not many leaves on it, if any, but that light hitting it, that nice gold, just really, it does something to it, doesn't it? Just takes it from being bland to something exceptional, really. And what's interesting, and I wasn't expecting this, it was cold last night. I woke up and it was freezing, and there's a nice layer of frost on some of these bluebells down here. It's more noticeable on the other foliage rather than the bluebells, but something to keep in mind that might be useful. I do like this light, it's lovely. Just getting to that point now where I need to sort out my composition, because the light's coming in, but only in the open areas at the moment. It's not harsh enough to really peek through into the deep underworld of the woods. If we look over here, just got some bluebells in the woods in between the coppice trees, but this is where the light, if I just move over here, look at this, all this is being lit up, just really accentuating the colours, contrasting it with the dark areas, the shadows, the highlights. Got some light on the trees here, on this coppice tree. Really beautiful. What I've done for this first shot, because I think I'm going to take a few different ones this morning as the light changes, but the light is just concentrated just here, seems to be fairly strong, so using this coppice tree here and this tree, I'm shooting between them. These are both these trees are in frame, but concentrating on the light hitting this thinner, well, it's not quite hitting this thinner tree in the middle, but the bluebells around it. Well, that's the first one, f5.6, because I know that's sharp on this lens. Don't need any filters, and the dynamic range is not extreme enough to need filters. Just a straight through the lens, unfiltered shot there. 1/250th of a second, f5.6. Disappointing now. It's just overcast, cloud. The sun is over there, but it's behind the cloud. How annoying. While I wait for this light, while I wait for the cloud even, because the light's here, it's just the clouds covering, I thought I'd take a picture just in the woods slightly. There's these fallen branches with the leaves are dying, but they've got a really lovely light brown colour. Beautifully contrasts with the bluebells and the green grass. So I'm just going to have a more intimate shot. There's like three colours: brown, bluey, purple, and the green grass. So I'm going to zoom in and just kind of have a selective shot. It's not, this one's more just about the contrasting colours in this scene. Yeah. So this is a different kind of shot than what I'd normally do, but I've zoomed right in with my 18-105, so I'm at 105. So that's the shot I've got lined up. A bit of the branch, bluebells. But what I've done to really add something to the picture is, well, f5.6, when you zoom right in, is a pretty shallow depth of field. I've got a slice of sharpness coming through that scene, highlighting the brown, but then in the background, nicely, slowly blurring out. I quite like that shot, quite like it. You have to let me know what you think of that one, because it's a bit different for me.
The trouble is that we have one-sided minds, and we notice the wave of life when it is at its peak or crest. We don't notice it when it's at the trough, not in the ordinary way. It's the peaks that count. Take a buzzsaw. What seems important to us is the tips of the teeth.
Walking around, I've come under this bit, got power lines, so it's quite open here. But there's these little yellow plants dotted around. I don't know plants, I have no idea what it is, but it's a little yellow one just popping out against the bluebells and the grass. And what I've done, changing it up this morning, trying something different. What I have is an old macro lens off a Pentax, the Super Ozek 2 Auto MC 28mm. So on a crop sensor you're looking at 40mm, something like that, f2.8, and being a macro you can get right in there, get a really shallow depth of field, normally a really super sharp image. You have to manually focus, but exposure and everything the camera can do. If you've never tried old lenses on a mirrorless camera, I highly suggest you do it. You can pick them up for peanuts, and as long as you're happy doing manually focusing things, no problems. You get a little converter for about a tenner, and then you got a whole plethora of lenses you can stick on these things. Highly recommend old lenses.
When it is at its peak or crest, we don't notice it when it's at the trough, not in the ordinary way. It's the peaks that count. Take a buzzsaw. What seems important to us is the tips of the teeth. They seem to do the cutting, not the valleys between the teeth. But do you see, you couldn't have tips of teeth without valleys between.